The other day I was talking with a friend about how men in their like late 30s and even 40s will date a woman for like 1 to 2 months and then break up with them and tell them, well, I just wasn't ready for a relationship. And my friend was like, how are these men not ready for a relationship? They're single and in their 30s and 40s. And it dawned on me that these men are not ready for a partnership. As women are standing up and requesting more from men in relationships, what these men are actually saying is that I am ready for a relationship. I'm ready for a relationship with traditional values where a woman takes care of me. You weren't taking care of me. You want a partnership. I'm not willing to show up and meet you halfway. These men are ready for relationships. They're not ready for partnerships because they don't want to do the work to meet someone halfway, and they want a woman who's just going to cater to them like their moms.
Men typically date for 1 to 2 months and then get rid of women because the women aren't ready to be in said relationship. See, if a guy controls relationships and he controls marriage, who has access to this, he is going to determine that you're not ready for it and he moves along. Women can sit here and tell themselves this all they want, but it doesn't make any sense. So men aren't willing to go 50-50 in a partnership. It's funny that the guys that they would be good candidates for, that would be good candidates for them, they don't want, due to a laundry list of things that we already know. We don't have to get into it. A man's attractiveness, what he does, what he has, what he's willing to give. No. Plenty of men are willing to give. They just don't want those men. But then the men that they want, they don't qualify for sex, yes, but not relationships. A guy goes bye-bye, cuts her off. Now it's all men. Women are always going to bump their heads. See, I try to wake men up to this, but men are more rational anyway. But I always try to wake men up to this. Whenever men are talking about women in the dating game, you're talking about the best looking women, the most attractive women. Why won't the IG model cooperate? Why won't the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s? Why won't they cooperate? But really, the women that you actually qualify for, because a lot of men don't really put in the work. They think having a good job is enough. A lot of men that don't put in the work can't see that they've got great picks in front of them as well. Women do this way more, though. Way more. You got a good pick in front of you. Oh, he's balding. Oh, he doesn't have a beard. Oh, he isn't tall enough. Oh, he doesn't work in finance. He doesn't do this. He doesn't have this. I don't think I'll be able to get this out of him. You got to knock that off. Because in 2026, there are not a lot of guys out here to date for women. And then the guys that they do want, they're going to keep getting disappointed. But the guys that would be good fits for them, they don't want them. But this is another thing you got to remember. Never let a woman pressure you into a relationship. You hold the access to a relationship. You hold the access to giving her your last name. All of it. Even for the chance to screw you over, you hold access to that. Remember that. Let's get into clip number 2.
I swear nothing turns a woman off more than a stingy man. A man filled with stinginess, okay? Because if you have the resources, and it doesn't mean you have to be like going so above and beyond that you can barely survive yourself. I'm not saying that. But you should be spoiling your woman, like a little something here and there, spoiling her for Christmas, for birthdays, whatever it is, whatever you can do, you should be doing the best that you can. At the end of the day, it's the thought that counts. And a man who makes an effort to show his appreciation, to give you a little something, women see that and women love that. But a man who doesn't do that and has the resources to do it, he's on the other team. He's playing for the other team. Someone had to say it. Because what do you mean you're not spoiling your lady? What do you mean? I just don't get that. I love to see a wife who you can tell is so spoiled by her man. And I'm not saying the man has nothing and he just gives his wife everything. I'm not saying that. But you can tell. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can tell that he freaking adores, loves his wife, and spoils his wife. I love to see that. Love to see it. It shows a lot. Those are acts of service. And if your woman doesn't care about like material items, that's fine. But whatever you gotta do, you gotta put some effort in. You gotta put some work in, okay, buddy? Okay? Because stinginess in a man is like, the worst.
Men do spoil women. This is the funniest part about this clip. Men actually do spoil women that deserve it. And if this woman has the type of guy that spoils her, she's actually ungrateful. What are you talking about this for? Oh, I love when I see a woman who has a husband that spoils her. And don't get it messed up. She doesn't mean emotional support, doing things that are creative. That's not what she means. Designer, trips, luxury, jewelry, trinkets, gifts. This is what she means. A man can take care of a woman, look out for a woman, but what this woman is asking for, it doesn't make any sense. Spoil her to the point where other people can tell you're not talking about anything that is emotional. You know, they're always talking about emotional intelligence, emotional support. When somebody can tell they're in a new car, they got jewelry on, name brands, luxury items, this is the only thing she's talking about. But men do spoil women. Men do treat women very well that deserve it. Women are going to keep on with this nonsense of a man should just do. They will never tell you what he gets in exchange. And we're going to get to that in another point in the video. But let's get into clip number 3.
Can someone explain to me why it's so hard to find a good man that is all about you and only you, doesn't care to entertain other women, and just wants to make you happy? Like, why is that so hard to find? I feel like nowadays, men my age, or at least all the good men my age, are either married or in a relationship. So yeah, I feel like I'm doomed for life.
The reason why it's so hard to find a guy that wants to be about you and only you, women are going to bump into this time and time again, is because you're aged out of the market. The men in your age bracket that you actually find sexy, right, and that have redeeming qualities, they don't want you, period. When men are getting older, they know what to look out for. They can listen to you talk and you're gone. Most guys are going to think it's about the looks. It's not about the looks. Because this woman compared to the next woman I'm about to play, it's night and day, right? But men can quickly assess and get out of the way. Watch this.
Well, guys, I think you finally succeeded. I think I have lost the absolute last shred of hope I had that there's still good men left in the world. Just went on a date. I thought it was going well. Talked nonstop. Not me, back and forth for over an hour. And then all of a sudden he had to take a call from a client. And he never fucking came back. And I got stuck with a $90 tab for his beers and pizza. So, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. 4B movement all the fucking way from here on out. You guys suck.
See, he probably got catfish because I don't see any dude really pulling up to sit down with her seriously on a serious level. I'm not disrespecting her or anything, but the truth is the truth and the truth hurts. Okay, so what happened in this scenario is he sat down with her. She started talking. He was like, I'm good off this. Got to take a business call, goes to the back or whatever, pays or just leaves. Oh, actually, he didn't pay. She had to pay. Just got up out of there. It's disrespectful. See, when women interact with you, a lot of the times they don't check themselves. This woman clearly didn't check herself. When women like you, they actually will check themselves. Sometimes they don't. But for a majority of the time, women don't check themselves and how they act. They've been so used to getting away with the way they act. She sits down, she starts talking a little bit, asking him things that makes it feel like this is a job interview. What? It's not even about the looks at that point. She's gonna get up and go away. You know, recently, the first message a chick messaged me was, oh, so what do you do for work? I put NVM. She unmatched. Perfect. No kicking, no screaming. You just gotta tell women, okay, or NVM. Let them go away. Let them go. Let them go. You'll always get a new lead. Men know exactly what they're looking for. Experienced men know exactly what they're looking for. You're not that. You gotta go away. I can guarantee you that man listened to her talk and was like, nah, I'm good. And I can't do this anymore, so I gotta go. Trying to give you a shot, trying to hear you out, but I gotta go. In her mind, she thinks that she's giving him an opportunity, him a chance. So she's like, what? And you heard what she said, right? 4B movement up. So that lets me know that what you were talking about was turning this man off more than your looks. Whether he got catfished or whatever. You let them talk long enough and they expose themselves, what they're looking for, what they will put up with, what they won't put up with. And the guy's like, are you out of your mind? Now you can assess how old she is by her looks. Are you out of your mind? Yo, bro, this is nonsense. Let's get into the next one.
If you're trying to date a girl like me, I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to ask someone like me out on a date. I'm in my early 30s, I know what I want, and I am very detail oriented. I love a man with a plan, and I think other women like me would too. If you have a plan for like, I think you would love this, let's go here at this time, wear something nice, and then you ask me when I'm available, chef's kiss. If you don't know what to do and we're talking already, use context clues, use ChatGPT, use TikTok, use Google. There's really no excuse. Like, be creative, put in a little bit of effort. Secondly, if you have a car, please offer to pick her up. Like, honestly, ask her to pick her up. If you don't have a car, send her a Lyft, send her an Uber. If you're from out of town, rent a car. If she decides that she's more comfortable meeting you there, ask her how she's getting there. Make sure the place has parking. Make sure you pay for her parking. Honestly, consideration is the highest form of respect and kindness and love for someone like me. That goes a long way. Lastly, flowers. So many men don't do this. Bring me one flower. Trader Joe's has flower bouquets for $4.99. Bring me a plant from Home Depot. It's the thought that counts. It's such a kind gesture. If a guy brings flowers on the first date, water, immediate moisture, wet waterfalls.
This woman is in her 30s. This woman is in her 30s, mind you. She's delusional. She is absolutely delusional. Send her a car, plan something extravagant, bring her flowers. She's in her 30s asking for all this. Let me tell you guys something, man. I think I saw another clip of this chick and she's saying she was in a long-term relationship. Actually, yes, I do have a clip of her. And she's saying that she's been in a long-term relationship, but now she's out here and guys don't simp anymore. Guys don't do this anymore, that anymore. The thing is, right? Long relationship or not, in your younger years, ladies, you gotta take advantage of this stuff when guys are dumb. Let me help them out for a second. When a guy still believes in love after love and all of this stuff, right? You need to take advantage of him. You do, but not in a bad way. You need to pour into that energy so you keep receiving it. When a guy gets over 30 years old, 35 years old, 40 years old, you're done. Unless he's a sucker and you can leverage your looks. You're done.